Welcome to Macro Mining from mining.com.au with me, Danielle Doporto. Macro Mining is your new weekly news summary of the big picture stories affecting mining, minerals, and markets. The peer-reviewed scientific journal Nature has published an article warning that the effects of climate change are impeding the mining of minerals like copper, nickel, and lithium needed for greener solutions to fight climate change. It cites examples such as wildfires in Canada, drought in Chile, extreme heat in areas nearing the equator, and flooding in Australia, where losses just for copper mines from heavy rain by 2050 could amount to 7.5 billion Australian dollars, or 50,000 tons of copper, without action. The 4 strategies recommended to strengthen the resilience of critical mineral supply chains are: 1. Better gathering and sharing of data, adopting international benchmarks and integrating climate scientists. 2. Planning and funding to adapt operations. 3. Reporting and legislating for climate risks throughout supply chains. And 4. Better engagement with Indigenous peoples, who preserve a large portion of Earth's habitats. The United States Geological Survey 2025 list of critical minerals officially has 10 new additions, namely boron, copper, lead, metallurgical coal or met coal, phosphate, potash, rhenium, silicon, silver, and uranium. The 2025 list now comprises 60 critical minerals, including 15 rare earth elements. It is significant for its impacts on tariffs and funding of domestic mining and exploration projects. Today in Washington, the C5+1 summit will bring together the leaders of the United States and Central Asian nations Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan, Turkmenistan, and Uzbekistan, with mineral supplies set to be at the center of discussions. The US has recently signed agreements around the supply of critical minerals with Australia, Saudi Arabia, Kazakhstan, Malaysia, Thailand, and Japan, with more potentially to come in the near future. In the last few weeks, Australia has also made a number of bilateral agreements on mining and minerals. Under the United States-Australia framework for securing of supply in the mining and processing of critical minerals and rare earths, signed on October 20th, the two nations will invest at least $1 billion within 6 months into financing for projects located in the United States and Australia, aimed at producing end products for offtake to buyers in both markets. Meanwhile, on the sidelines of the G7 Energy and Environment Ministers meeting in Toronto, Australia and Canada signed a joint declaration of intent on critical minerals collaboration to boost cooperation and trade. And following the APEC 2025 summit in South Korea, the South Korean president and Australian prime minister had a telephone meeting wherein they agreed to strengthen cooperation in defense, arms, and critical minerals. Now it's time for a segment we're calling Expert Insights, where we'll be crossing to subject matter experts for their analyses of hot topics. This week, the topic is copper supplies, and our very first macro mining contributor is mining.com.au's very own original presenter and analyst, Shae Russell.
Big news this week, Danielle, and it's mostly political. The US government has expanded its critical minerals list and copper has finally made the cut. It's a move that's been years in the making and it officially cements copper's role as a strategic metal, not just a commodity. So what does this actually mean? In short, faster permitting, easier access to funding, and a whole lot more government attention. The Department of the Interior's decision effectively puts copper in the same national interest basket as lithium, nickel, and rare earths, metals essential to electrification, energy security, and defense technology. It's also a pretty loud signal to miners and investors alike. The US wants domestic production, which means less dependence on imports and more control over its supply chain. And with global demand for copper expected to double by 2035, that's no small ambition. In other words, copper's just got a promotion. Expect to see new exploration pushes for the metal in North America, more partnerships with allied producers, and a wave of policy-driven capital flowing into the red metal. Of course, copper has just been bumped up the list of importance, but the problem is the US doesn't actually have the smelting capacity it needs to even meet its own domestic production currently. Does this mean the Trump administration will tackle it next? More on that another time.
Clearly, you know how to find us online. But did you know that you can also find mining.com.au team members out in the wild? Our esteemed Vancouver correspondent, Michael McRae, has spent this week interviewing attendees at the 51st Annual New Orleans Investment Conference. And following a successful showing at IMARC in Sydney last week, the inimitable Shae Russell will be covering the Noosa Mining Investor Conference on Queensland's Sunshine Coast next week. To find out where we'll be next, check out the events tab of our website at www.mining.com.au/events. We really hope you enjoyed this inaugural episode of Macro Mining. If you have any feedback or requests for future episodes, please comment below and keep an eye out for another episode next week. I've been Danielle Doporto and thank you for watching.